Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, right across from the Meteor Crater on Chrysler Avenue. And my radio guys are hearing this for the second time because once again, I forgot to turn my microphone on for the video. But that's all right. That's all right. It doesn't matter. It all works out. It's Trash Talking Tuesday. There you go. What can I tell you? What can I tell you? It's hot out there and smoky. And I'm going, geez, I woke up, it was 75 degrees. I went to the studio, it's 86 degrees out there. I look across, and usually I can see right across to a building in Niagara Falls, New York, and it's clear as a bell. A little bit hazy today from the smoke that we're getting from the fires in northern Ontario, northern Manitoba. It's blowing down this way. It's a health warning or something advisory out because of it. You have problems with bad air quality. You may want to stay indoors today. If you have breathing issues, yeah, it's best to stay inside. You don't want to come on out. You don't want to come on out. It's a day where it's hot, humid, and to be honest with you, hazy and smoky. But still a nice day nonetheless. Nice day nonetheless. So before we get into anything here, we have lots to talk about. Some viewer comments. And we're going through the gamut. We're running the gamut today. And we're going to start with our sponsors Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamel Machine Company, and Niagara Parks Commission. And we get these days like today, and you know darn well that your kids are going to want to go somewhere. They're going to want to go to the beach. They're going to want to go somewhere. And if your car isn't running right, that doesn't bode well for you because the last thing you want to do is bust down on the side of the road with your car loaded, your wife and kids and dog, and you're going to go have a good time and you're sitting on the side of the QEW because you weren't proactive and didn't take your car to Wild Bill's to get your car checked out. It's so simple. Give him a call. Get your car down there. In half an hour, 45 minutes, he's going to look at all your systems, look at your brakes, make sure everything is perfect for the summer so you don't have a breakdown. It only makes sense. You can't get any more logical than that. He's going to make sure that you have a good summer. And also, he has a body shop. So if you get in a wreck, don't worry about it. He's going to take your car in and return it to showroom condition. Away you go for a great summer, a nice, safe summer with good brakes and all systems go. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop on Oakwood Drive next to the Kia dealership. Give Ken Hunter a call, and he'll take care of you. Tell him Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. When you're at his website, wildbillsauto.ca, don't forget to check out the video and subscribe. I look at my analytics, and maybe about half of the people who actually watch the video subscribe. So subscribe. Come on, get in on the action. You're going to get a notification. You're going to hear all about city council, what's going on in the city, so you can make good decisions next election and on who to vote for. And we can get the city council we deserve. It's funny. I was sitting in my backyard yesterday, right? And I heard somebody talking, and I'm going, who the heck's that talking? And I'm listening to it, and it was me. My neighbor, Michelle Mustachi, my good neighbor, was watching the show out in her back patio, and I'm going, who the heck is making all that? Yeah, she was watching my show. Thank you, Michelle. I really appreciate you tuning in and giving it a like and that kind of thing. It helps everything. But that was pretty cool. Yeah, you listen and you hear somebody talk, and then you realize it's yourself she was probably watching YouTube, the video. But thank you so much. I appreciate that you did watch it. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, over to my viewer comments. At Penny Brookify, a regular contributor to comments in capital letters, Pine Avenue. And that was, I was sitting here the other day talking about Michael's restaurant that burned down on Pine. And I couldn't remember if it was street or avenue. I'm trying to think Walnut Street, Walnut Avenue, Ferry Street, Ferry Avenue, whatever they are, because they run parallel to Pine. That's what it is. And it's Pine Avenue. I remember my parents had a few glasses from Lou's Pete's Market. They must have walked out with them at one time. And now I want La Hacienda. Haven't been since pre-COVID. And yeah, Hacienda's great. That was one of my trips for my birthday every year. The one place I wanted to go and do on my birthday is go to La Hacienda. And I've been there lately, I've been there lately, and it's good, but it's not the same as when Aldo had it. When Aldo and Pat had it, his father-in-law, that's when La Hacienda was really, really, really good. It's okay now, but yeah, it's just a glimmer of what it used to be back in the day when me and Father Leo in the Rocket and Hollywood used to go to Peg Subs just down the street on Pine. There were so many good places on Pine. It was unbelievable. And a lot of them have died out. And now with Michael's burning down, that was one of the few remaining bastions that we used to go to all the time. We always went to Michael's. Nice night at the bakery. Go to Michael's for a half a plate of rigatoni because you couldn't eat a full plate. They loaded you up so much there. Just a great place, great memories. I'm sure your father and his brothers. We all used to go out over there, hang around. So I'm sure they all are on the same tune as we are. So there you go. Everything's good. Okay, so Penny Brookfight, thank you for the comment. Now, this wasn't a comment as much as it is just a message from Gary Wilkins, my buddy Gary. He sent me an interesting video from Rebel News regarding a Tim Hortons in Oshawa that is closing down in its seating area because of the homeless situation. And the homeless are going in there and sitting there all day, maybe having a coffee if they're lucky, and they just take up space for hours. And so basically they're tying up the bathrooms and using them as injection sites. So what this Tim Hortons had to do was just close it down to sit in traffic. You cannot sit in and have coffee there anymore. There's no sit in traffic. It's closed down for that. It's only drive through, and you can walk in and get a coffee, but you can't go in there and sit there for hours and hours. It just wouldn't happen. And Gary thinks that it's going to happen to the one on Victoria Avenue as well. They face the same problems. And that's a sad comment on the times when a restaurant like Tim Hortons, where they have meals now. I mean, before it was coffee and donuts, but now it's all meals and everything. And that's a sad comment other times when they have to close the actual dining room down to sit down patrons because there's just too many people hanging around for hours and hours, not getting out of there and using their facilities as a depot. So when you look at me waving, that's the people going by looking in the window because they're looking right at me as I'm doing the show. And there's other people that go by every day that I see and they wave at me. So yeah, I'm not just sitting here. Well, I better start doing this or something like this because if I do that, people think I'm doing the salute. They'll stop me having protesters out here. So yeah, sad that Tim Hortons has to do that, and the one on Victoria Avenue, Gary thinks it's going to happen there too because they have the same problem. And this isn't just a problem in Oshawa or in Niagara Falls. This is a problem all across Canada. And one thing's certain, that the approach that everybody's been using over the last 20 years is not working. The problem's getting worse, and it's always starting to affect business and everything else. So we've got to come up with a new solution. At least try something new. Now, Welland, I talked about it yesterday, is trying their little compound on Ontario Road. It's a great idea, maybe in the wrong place because of the neighborhoods around it and what it brings. And we saw that at the Coronation Center on Summer Street and Main Street in Niagara Falls, where these guys are disrupting the neighborhood, and the neighbors were in city council yelling and screaming about it. And I can't blame them. With no relief in sight, I've never heard anything else about it. What the resolution has been to their problems that they came to City Hall with. I mean, what are you going to do? You know, it is what it is, the way they're treating it now. But if they put them all in one place, and it's not to segregate them, it's to keep them together so they can get the help they need. People have to get out of this mindset that we're trying to push them into encampments and compounds like the internment camps during the Second World War. No. Sometimes you have to do things for people that's for their own good so that they can get help they need. It's impossible for all these workers to go around the city looking for These people, they're all over the place, spread out. You can't give them the help they need like that. In one area, at least you can put the people in the area to help them with whatever they need, whether it's addiction, mental health, no matter what, they can help them. They're all in one area. You can do it all in one area, as well as give them the necessities of life, like refreshment centers. They can take showers there. You can put in a bathhouse or a shower. There's so many things you can do to help them. Bathrooms and whatever else you need to put in there. But you can do it all in one area, but it's very hard to do when they're spread all over town. So this is what should be done. And I just say that whatever they've been doing up to date has not worked. So it really is time to take a new stand on it, a new approach, and get down and do it. And what's the worst that could happen? The situation gets better because it can't get any worse than it is now. It's getting worse every day. So, they got to come up with something. I haven't heard any more. Maybe I'll ask Councillor Lococo about that, what they've come up with for the Coronation Center, what they're doing there. I know they boarded up a lot of the buildings. There's a little apartment building across the street. They put a big gate across it and that kind of thing. But Gary, thanks for that video. It's enlightening to see what's going on there and the frustration that everybody's having with this problem. And the government, whether it's federal, provincial, regional, or city government, doesn't seem to have the solution. It doesn't seem to be doing much about it, other than the same old tired things they did years ago that don't work. Basically, that's it. So, City Council wants to take a one-day event and turn it into a 2 or 3 day extravaganza. Now, what's that event? That event is Canada Day. Some reason the City Council members enthusiastically jumped in on future Canada Day celebrations that span 2 or 3 days. But it always amazes me that they're going to spend city staff time on this. I mean, we always, we hired 57 new people in the last 2 years on city council. Is this what they're hired for, to be entertainment directors, to be event planners? Because that's what it looks like to me. We're going to throw event planners under their job description. A bigger event means more hours dedicated to planning it and to getting it done. The city staff shouldn't be doing this. Sure, one Canada Day for a few hours, not a big deal. You have organizers that can help you out. But you're talking about a 2 or 3 day event where, you need security, you need it's a big, big deal. I mean, Chris Dabrowski, of all people, should know about this, should know how tough it is to run an event like that. I know how tough it is to run a 1 day event. I can't even imagine 2 or 3 days. It'd be crazy. And I know it's, for the city and the people, but I mean, city staff is about roads and sewers and weeds, like in the meteor crater. It's not about event planning. And to pull people off paying them big sunshine list dollar wages, salaries, plus benefits, and that to pull them off to plan a major event for Niagara Falls just doesn't seem like the right thing to do. I understand why they're doing it. Don't get me wrong. It's great for Niagara Falls, for the citizens. It's a day for them, 2 days for them. But they're talking about bringing in the Trues, like making it a real big event with paying to get in, to see I mean, this is a little bit different than a 1 day event with 100 cupcakes, first come, first serve for people, and a couple of balloons and guys painting the kids' faces as clowns. Now they're talking a carnival and a whole whack of stuff. I just think it's over the top. And plus, you got to remember, Canada Day occurs on July 1st. Whatever that day may fall on, that's when it is. So you're going to do one of these 2 or 3 day events when it falls on a Tuesday? People are working. They don't have time to go on Wednesday to attend the rest of it, a 2 or 3 day event. It doesn't make sense. I mean, you'd have to wait till it's on a weekend, a Friday or a Monday or something, where you have a long weekend just to do it. But a lot of times you're not going to be able to do that. And, you have to have people there. You have to have people attend to be able to make enough money to pay for it. It's expensive. So I don't know. Unless they have some big plan or their people are taking off important things for the city, like roads, sewers, weeds, and everything else, it's going to be a big thing. I mean, there's some things that appear good for the city, but they're really not that good. Canada Day is a unique 1 day event. We celebrate Canada's birthday. That's what it is. It's no more, no less. And that's the way it should be. Like July 4th, they have a big thing on July 4th in the States, and that's it. July 5th is nothing. July 3rd is nothing. People enjoy the day, they celebrate it, and they get back to work and the usual routine the next day. By the time evening rolls around on the day of, they're done with it. All day face painting and eating cake, it gasses them. They're done. Bring their kids there, spend the day eating cake and doing the kiddie stuff, and then they want to go home. And what I would like to see, to be honest with you, is move it back downtown. That would be my preferred thing. Why? Because Mayor Diodati is spending a lot of time and a lot of money on this downtown University of Niagara Falls. They're going to build a student residence. Niagara Falls downtown is being revitalized, or he's trying to revitalize it. And to have Canada Day downtown just makes sense. It makes sense. You have all the new students at the University of Niagara Falls downtown. They get a look at what Canada Day is and what Canada Day means to people who are Canadians. Canada is at its best on Canada Day. Everybody in kumbaya mode, getting along, face painted, holding hands, singing "Oh Canada," in front of the flag at City Hall. It only makes sense. Doesn't get more Canadian than that. Have a couple beaver tails too there, and I don't know, a couple of guys going by the G's, eh? Now, Councillor Patel wants to take it to the next level with fireworks or a drone show. That's another 10 to 20 grand added to the expenses. And I would definitely go along with Councillor Patel's suggestion of a drone show, but we really don't need this city blowing off any more fireworks, do we? We have to put it up with it every day at 10 o'clock at night. Do we really need another day they're blowing all these fireworks out? How about a drone show? I love that idea, Councillor Patel. Great idea. Drone show, nice and quiet, totally blows you away if you saw that demonstration of it over the falls a few years ago. That's what we're talking about. But I'd like to have it right downtown, right over City Hall. Huge drone show launched out of the back parking lot. Perfect. Could have a feature band down there, a drone show. There you go. I mean, you always got to remember, we lost the parade because it was too much work. City staff didn't have time to plan a parade. So now they're going to plan a 2 or 3 day event. This doesn't make sense. This is really goofy. Please do not attempt this at home. Do not attempt this at home. Don't do it. Don't do it. We don't need it. We don't need it. Bring it back downtown where it belongs. Celebrate our downtown. Work with the people who are building down here to try to make it better. And let's get this Canada Day under control here. Okay, over to my second sponsor. That's my opinion on Canada Day. Over to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And if you ever don't feel like cooking, well, first thing a lot of people reach to, especially a guy like me who loves pizza, is the pizza. And where do I go? Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, of course. Why? Because they use fresh ingredients, the Mancini family recipe for sauce and crust, and they know how to make a pizza. Sauce and cheese in the right ratios on a beautiful crust, cooked to perfection with fresh toppings. It doesn't get better than that. That's what Pete's Pizza delivers all the time, and you don't have to get a pizza. They have fantastic chicken wings. They have fantastic steak and cheese poutine. They have fantastic, and last time I was there, they were just bringing out a chicken parm sandwich that was outrageously good. And they have all the other stuff that you would expect. More normal poutine, panzerotti. Unbelievable menu, unbelievable place. They cook it right. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. How do you get it? 905-374-2222, or go to their website, petespizzavictoria.ca. Check it all out. Order it. They use Skip and Dine and all the other services if you want it, and they also deliver. Can't beat that. Open till 2 in the morning, Friday and Saturday, midnight during the week for your convenience. Give them a call today. Tell them that Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. They'll be happy. I'll be happy. Everybody will be happy. Support our sponsors. They support the city. They're good corporate citizens. We support our good corporate citizens, and we thank them for supporting the show. Okay, interesting headline about a Thorold jail clerk that diverted money from inmate accounts. How much money could there be in inmate accounts at the Thorold Hilton? I don't know about that, but somehow this guy, I scratched my head over this one. I mean, how much money do these people have that somebody's going to pilfer their money? Somebody did it. I guess there's enough there for somebody to steal. It just blows my mind that they would do that. But I guess there's always an edge, always a scam, always an angle with these guys. The man who worked as an inmate trust clerk decided to take prisoner money that they deposited into their accounts, purchase items at the jail canteen, as well as phone services. After this guy was hired, the audit showed money missing from these trust accounts and was tracked down to one Michael Morganti from Hamilton, I believe. He's one of the trust officers. Apparently, he diverted money from 11 inmate accounts, and the amount was not disclosed in court. Trust officer, we can't trust him. Who hired this guy? They check his police record. Oh, this is really weird. Morgani has since resigned from his job, of course, put the money back he took, sentenced to a 12 months conditional sentence with the first 9 months to be served under house arrest. He's got the bracelet. He's got the ankle bracelet. Maybe the guy should have been put in the same cell with the 11 prisoners he ripped off for say 6 months. And I think that would have been a really good sentence for him. That's just me. That's just what I think. I mean, I didn't even know there was money to steal from that. I never even thought about it. Well, prisoners need money for they get 3 squares a day on that, but apparently they do. But it's sad that this guy's going to pilfer what little money they do have in the trust account. That's pretty low. That's pretty low to steal the prisoners' money. All they have is cigarettes, maybe, or whatever they buy there, smokes in a phone card or whatever, right? I mean, geez. Yeah, this guy, they should have put him right in with the 11 he took it from and told them, he took your money. This is the guy right here. Welcome to the cell block. That would have been good. Oh, Doge report. I was going to wear my Doge shirt today, but I didn't. Interesting story about the fire dispatch center in St. Catharines, which is set to undergo a $1 million renovation this fall, including incorporating next generation 911 dispatch to run their systems. Why am I mentioning this? Why would you care if they're the region or the city of St. Catharines or whoever's doing it? Probably city of St. Catharines. Maybe it's them. Maybe it's they outfit themselves because they do make money, this dispatch. Why do you care? Why would you care? Well, I'm going to tell you why you care. You know I was going to, right? You know I was going to tell you why. You care because maybe a year ago at a city council meeting, just before the budget, it might have been this time of year, I'm not sure, I can't remember exactly. But our CAO, Jason Burgess, affectionately known as the Penguin, in this studio, City Council was looking at the fire budget. And I think at that time it could have been 23 million. I think now it's 30 million or something. Whatever. Still a lot of money in our biggest department, which nobody will look at, nobody will touch. And to lead up to Jason Burgess's ask of City Council, we have to go back and remember that Victor Pietrangelo, I believe it was, Councillor Pietrangelo, when they were doing the budget, stood up and asked Jason Burgess to find $1 million, $1 million of savings. And the CAO stood up, the Penguin stood up, and he said, I can find that for you, but you may not be happy about where I'm going to find it. They gave him, here, this is your job, find it. So what did he do? He went out and found $250,000 of it. How did he find it? He said that they should send their fire dispatch to St. Catharines, to this very center that I'm talking about right now. It would have saved the citizens $250,000 plus a capital expenditure to upgrade the equipment because it was lagging behind of provincial standards. Now, $250,000 is about a third of a point on our taxes. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a third of a point. You start adding up the thirds of points, and before you know it, you're down to zero. When you find DOGE, government efficiency. Now, of course, there's also the $800,000 capital cost to replace our system that we needed over there. So what happened? Well, the firefighters came to city council meeting, packed the gallery, and were staring down these councilors who wanted to get rid of dispatch from the fire hall on Morrison Street. And city council folded like one of Don Cherry's cheap suits and basically agreed to keep it in Niagara Falls, thus canceling CAO Burgess's attempt to save taxpayers' money and accomplish the mandate that they had been set forth by City Council. Suggested by Peter Angelo, seconded by everybody else, and voted on. And he told them, you may not like where I'm going to save the money. And the reason most of these councilors were given, and Councilor Strange stood up and said, seconds count. Like, if you dispatch from St. Catharines, that the fire trucks wouldn't get to the event on time and houses would burn down, which is totally nonsense. It's the goofiest thing I ever heard. Technology today, and with the next gen 911, technology today puts you at the scene of the fire from Google Maps. You ever heard of it? Google Street. You can see the house right from the street in seconds. And then you dispatch according to whether it's a one-story or two-story. You can see it. And then once the fire chief gets there, or whoever's managing the fire with the trucks, they call for more equipment if they need it. So this is a bunch of baloney, and we should have sent it there. I think there's 9 municipalities in the region of Niagara who use St. Catharines dispatch to dispatch their trucks. I mean, you could dispatch the trucks from India. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Today you have technology, the internet. It's instant. It's instant. Probably faster than when they used to call in fire on blah blah blah, or they'd hit the box on Queen Street and the bell would go off, and then the trucks would go down to Queen Street looking for smoke because they really didn't know the exact location, just the general vicinity of where the firebox rang from. It's the quickest, and the technology they're upgrading to is even better. I mean, Fort Erie is dispatched from Tillsonburg. Yeah, Tillsonburg, Ontario. That's where Fort Erie fires are dispatched from. So it really doesn't matter. Penguin was going to save us $250,000 plus the capital cost to upgrade our equipment. And City Council said no. They want to keep the current dispatch here. And it wasn't going to displace any employees. They were all going to move to the place in St. Catharines anyway. They're going to need them. They're going to dispatch for Niagara Falls. But the pressure from the firefighters in attendance at the meeting caused city council to fold. And of course, it was turned down to send it out, to farm it out and save 250 grand plus the capital cost of new equipment. Now, this modern center they're upgrading handles calls for 9 Niagara municipalities and beyond. And they're taking in more dispatch duties for other communities as well. Right now, they dispatch a total of 27 municipalities around Ontario, and we'll be adding Bruce County, which is up Tobermory, that area up there, to their dispatch in October. Some of the counties they dispatch for are not that close, like Kinte West, Prince Edward County, and Norfolk County. I think only Welland and Niagara Falls are the only holdouts in the Niagara region. That's it, with Fort Erie being in Tillsonburg. I mean, the cost of having at-home dispatching cannot match the cost of farming it out. That's why we're going to have $250,000 of saving. By the time you pay the salaries, pay the benefits, sick time, time off, the whole shot costs a ton of money. And it's part of that $30 million that the police, or that police are another situation, that the fire guys are looking for their budget. And the all-new system aligns with Niagara Regional Police and Niagara Parks Police even. Everyone's on the same page, and they can monitor everything like trucks that are out of service. So this dispatch knows which trucks are out of service for some reason, whether they're at another fire or they're in for repairs or whatever. And they even can monitor the bridge situations over the Welland canals, because if they got to go to a fire and cross that canal and there's a boat going through, the bridge is up, they can reroute them so they don't waste time waiting. And also they can manage road closures. They know where they are. I mean, technology is a wonderful thing. It can replace the dispatch we have in Niagara Falls and save taxpayers money. I mean, it would only make sense to hand off the dispatch duties to St. Catharines, and people are going to yell and scream, "Oh, the fire!" Listen. The fire department is sacrosanct. Nobody wants to touch a dime, but they're our biggest department, and they are where we can save the most money by making sure that we have what we need there at all times. Only 1% of the calls go to fight fires, maybe even less. Last time I looked, there was 2,000 some odd calls, probably more now, and only 20 of them were to fight fires. The rest were emergency calls for heart attacks and stuff. So we have to reassess our fire department if we're going to save the city money. DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. Somebody has to go in and look at this. The first step is the dispatch, and then we get into the nitty gritty of 24-hour shifts where they need kitchens to cook for and only working 9 days a month. That's how they work. 9 days a month, 90 days a year, when all their vacation and everything is taken into account. That's all. Look it up. If you don't believe me, look it up. I'm just telling you. You can look it up for yourself. It's a fact. So technology is a wonderful thing. I hope the CAO doesn't let this one go. I know Jason wants to look at the fire department, but he's always given the evil eye when he says anything about it. I hope they take another look at it. I think it's worth bringing up again and looking at, especially after they revamped the department in St. Catharines, the new call center in St. Catharines for dispatch. I think it's only wise that Niagara Falls moves into that. Thanks to Karina Walter of the St. Catharines Standard for the article about it. Read it in the review. You'll be very, very interested in it. Want to get to my third sponsor, Hamill Machine Company. I've talked about this so many times. Now, Hamill Machine, they do such a good job. They're such good corporate citizens in Niagara Falls. Been around since 1948. And how vital are they? Well, when industry moves into a city, whether it's Niagara Falls or any other city, they look for good machine shops. You don't believe me? Ask Dave Wheeler. He'll tell you. And why do they look for good, solid machine shops? Because when they break down, time is money. They cannot afford to be broke down. And with today, just-in-time ordering, they don't have parts around. And a lot of times parts are coming from around the world today. They're not just made in North America. They're sent over to other places to make parts, and it takes time to get here. Hamill Machine Shop can go in there, look at what they need, fix the problem, remanufacture the part, re-engineer it if they have to, print it on the 3D printer if it's a part that can be printed, or cut it out of steel or metal with their water jet cutters. They have it all there. They serve industry, big and small, but they don't just make a new part, they make it better. Their idea there is to not only look at the part and make it, but make it better so it's more efficient. It saves time, and time is money. That's what they do, and they've done it for the wine industry, richest products. They've done it for the agricultural industry, where they ship inventions. They're inventions. They're innovators all over the world, and they all right here in Niagara Falls since 1948, and they haven't forgotten about you neither. You need something done, take your snowblower in if you sheared a pin. You need help to fix it. You need something welded, they'll do it for you. If you need something fabricated, they'll do it for you. Back gates for your yard, whatever you need. Hamill Machine Company, hamillmachine.ca, to see the wonderful work they do. They do beautiful work. Support our sponsors, our local businesses that support the city, and our good corporate citizens. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. And we thank you for supporting our sponsors, our great sponsors. Okay, so I know we've all done this. You get on a back road in the city of Niagara Falls or wherever, and we put the pedal to the metal, right? Like idiots. Yeah, and that's why you see so many accidents on the back roads all the time. But not so fast there, bucko. The NRP are catching on. That's right. They just wrapped up a 4-day traffic enforcement initiative targeting those rural roads that everyone uses as drag strips. Oh, yeah, I got a powerful car, and it's stopping right in the middle of this road where there's nobody, and I'm going to hammer it. Not anymore. They're watching you. No drag strips down there. The test pilots attract dozens of charges and 2 stunt driving charges during this campaign by the Niagara Regional Police. And of course, stunt driving is going 50 kilometers an hour or more over the posted speed limit. Police issued a total of 47 provincial offense notices, which includes speeding tickets as well as 4 Part 3 summonses. And their notices where they give you a court date. And you can get one of those for driving without insurance or driving while under suspension. Gave out 23 more warnings. I mean, that's a good haul for 4 days. And it shows why there are so many accidents on the back roads with these back road cowboys. We need Coon Road back. At least all the drag races were in one spot. And if you been around this area for a while, you knew where Coon Road was. And that's where everybody used to go up there and drag. I don't know. I never heard of anybody getting arrested on Coon Road for racing, but they're on the back rural streets now, so you can go. You can try your luck, but you may not get out of it without a ticket or having your license pulled. And if you don't have a license, you don't have insurance, you don't like wearing seatbelts, don't go there, because they're going to grab you and set a court date for you. Yeah, it's not funny. It's not funny, but that's what happens. I mean, I did it before. Go to the back roads with a car and just hammer it. Nobody's out there, right? But things happen with people, and you shouldn't be doing that. I'm not encouraging you to do that, so don't give me any comments about encouraging people to go at the back roads and hammer it. I'm telling you, if you do it, the police are going to probably catch you doing it. Not nice. Well. The Mouse speaks. And who is that Mouse? Ghislaine Maxwell, the longtime associate of Epstein, and the only person ever in prison in connection with his sex trafficking network, other than him, of course. He's supposed to be dead. But she has been as quiet as a church mouse regarding this whole sordid affair, but now says she's ready to talk publicly about his client list. She wants to appear before Congress and reveal the full extent of Epstein's dealings, including the list of powerful clients that he serviced with underage girls. She emphasized her desire to finally tell the American people what really happened, claiming the public deserves to know the truth. Now, I just heard before I left for the studio here that although she wants to appear before Congress, they've said no. She can appear before Congress. This is a major turn of events here. Republicans control the House. Republicans control the Senate, which is Congress. Both of them together. And why can't she appear? Why are they saying no? It's the same question everybody's asking Trump. Why are you not releasing all this stuff? This is getting really, really, really bizarre world. Bizarro world right here. I don't understand why they wouldn't want her to go in there and give all she knows under oath, swear under oath, and give all she knows under oath in front of a congressional hearing. It's crazy, but it's happening. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's up. But I know one thing. She said President Trump is not on the client list. Instead, Maxwell claims that plenty of top Democratic Party officials are implicated, although she did not name specific people. Her comments suggest that the client list may contain some politically explosive information with the potential to upend public trust in some of the politics' most prominent figures. Now, I would say I totally believe that Trump wasn't involved in this. Come on. The Democrats have used every weapon they could get their hands on against Trump, including guns. I mean, we just celebrated the one anniversary on July 13th, the when he got shot in Butler, PA. They've impeached him, they've indicted him, they've arrested him, they've put him through trials, they've put gag orders on him through his campaign. They've done it all. You don't think that they would use videos of him with underage girls or anything else if they had him, or even being on a list, if they had him on that list, going to Epstein Island on Lolita Express? Of course they'd use it. Come on, smarten up. And they didn't. And Biden had control of it. So that's one thing. Now the second thing is that Biden and the Democrats did have control of it. How truthful, how real is the list going to be? Would it have been taken by the Democrats and altered at all? Were people left out? Is that why Trump don't want to bother releasing it? That why they're saying there's nothing there is because it's been altered, changed when the Democrats had power, had control over it? Maybe they're trying to find the real one. The one they have isn't it. Because Kash Patel and Dan Bongino said they're going to look for it and they're going to go after it and they're going to release it. The Department of Justice said there's no list. There's nothing. And now all of a sudden, Maxwell's coming forward, and she's been silent since she was sentenced in 2022 for grooming and trafficking young women for Epstein. She now says out of nowhere the time has come for total transparency, something all MAGA supporters definitely want and are waiting for. It will go to Congress to tell her story. So this plot is thickening by the second, every minute. And I just saw an interview with that goofball Don Lemon from CNN. I think he got thrown out and he's got his own podcast now. But I saw him interviewing Jeffrey Epstein's only brother. I think his name is Max. And it's interesting to see what he has to say. I'll talk more about that on Thursday. But it's interesting to see what he has to say about all this. So that's going to be something when I talk about that on Thursday. So who knows? Claim there is no list. Maxwell can single-handedly clean this controversy up in several hours. testifying in front of Congress. So stay tuned for this. I heard today, just before I came here, the Republicans are saying no, they're not going to let her up there. So we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens with that. But this is getting wilder by the minute. But I think eventually the truth's going to come out. I think it has to. I think it has to. People are saying, well, but the bottom line is here is that if MAGA Republicans and Republicans in general who voted for Trump have the idea that he's fishing around with stuff, he's not being truthful, or he's hiding stuff, then the midterms might be lost to the Democrats. And if this ever happened, this is just about more than Epstein and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Bongino. This is about transparency that Trump talked about. And the problem is now that if they lose these midterms because of this Epstein thing, because of Trump not doing the right thing for his MAGA people, then everything that he's fought for in the last 5 months since he got to be president again, since he got elected, is going to be gone. They're going to impeach him. They're going to obstruct him. They're going to just screw his last 3 years. That's what they're all about. Obstruction, confusion, distraction, impeachment. It's all going to be there if they don't keep that majority in the House and the Senate. So that's how important this is. Now, it never seemed like it was going to be that important. It never was until now. And somebody has got to do something about it. Take the bull by the horns and say, here's the deal. If they don't, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Trump's not on the list, so it's not about that. It's about something else. Maybe he's just waiting, biding his time here, because he's got something bigger to drop on everybody. Now, I talked about Epstein being alive. And it may be Epstein he drops on everybody. That Epstein didn't die in that cell. It doesn't make sense that he died. So, very interesting what's going on. And at the end of the day, we'll see. We'll see. Stay tuned to this one. I'll have more on it on Thursday for sure, especially with what his brother had to say about it. His only brother, Max Epstein. Okay, let's get to my last sponsor, and then we're going to go into Senator Rand Paul and what he's doing, which is really, really great news for me. Niagara Parks Commission. What can I say? Custodians of 32 miles of the most beautiful parkland in the world, centered by one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, Niagara Falls. How can you beat that? And here we take for granted Niagara Falls because we can actually hear falls from our houses. I can hear the falls at night sitting on my front porch. We take it for granted, but the tourists that come here don't. They've never been here before, and they're totally blown away by the beauty of Niagara Falls. But Niagara Falls isn't just the falls in the Niagara Parks Commission, beautiful parklands and trails, nature trails and everything. It's also attractions. Niagara Parks Commission has some of the best attractions down the park. Butterfly Conservatory, Table Rock House, Refectory. They have everything that you would need. Zip lining, a beautiful whirlpool golf course. One of the best public golf courses in the world they have in Niagara Falls, all run by the Niagara Parks Commission. You don't want to miss it. And as locals, we have certain advantages in Ontario. You can get a parking pass for $50 for the season. So you can park at all the lots, which are very expensive, $36 for the day. Down by the falls, you park there under the ticket you get for the $50 for the season. They also have attractions passes where if you want to experience the attractions, you can buy a pass. You can go to all these beautiful places like the Glen and the Great Gorge Trip and Spanish Aero Car and the zip lining and the beautiful power stations they've refurbished. Niagara Parks Commission, go to niagaraparks.com to see all the attractions that they offer. It's a spectacular place to enjoy your time in Niagara Falls. Don't miss it. I'm telling you, the falls is the major attraction, but the rest of the Parks Commission will blow your mind. And we don't take enough advantage of it here in Niagara Falls. We really, really don't. I'm guilty of it. Everybody's guilty of it. Niagara Parks Commission, go check out the website, niagaraparks.com. See all they have to offer. Thank you for supporting our sponsor. They support the city, and they're good corporate citizens. Now, over to Rand Paul, like I was talking about. Formally issued a criminal referral of Dr. Anthony Fauci to AG Attorney General Pam Bondi in the Department of Justice following allegations that Fauci's pardon was signed by AutoPen. So it's happening. All those AutoPen signatures that we said were fake, they weren't done by Biden. They were done by somebody else. Well, guess what? All those fake signatures, all those people who were pardoned, they're not pardoned anymore. And now they're going after Fauci. He should be arrested for crimes against humanity. And it should send him to prison for all the charges, with all his COVID lies and what he did to people. It's going to pave the way for other pardons to be repealed because of AutoPen signatures that were fake. That includes people like Shifty Schiff and the rest of these guys. Pelosi, the Biden crime family, the whole bunch of them. Heads are going to roll with a big arrest imminent. Stay tuned. It's going to get wild very soon. These guys are going to pay. And Fauci's the biggest one. He's the one I want to see arrested. If he goes to Russia or some of these other places, he's going to be arrested immediately. And I think that this isn't just something they should be doing in the United States, looking at all these guys with COVID. I think they should be doing it in Canada as well. We saw Tam. We saw Moore in Ontario. And we saw in the Niagara region Hergy. These people ruined thousands of Canadian lives. They closed down the country, putting small business people out of business, injecting 90% of Canadians with a dangerous experimental vaccine. Some people with threats of losing their livelihood if they didn't comply. Remember that? They're threatening everybody. They're going to be fired if they didn't get the shot. These crimes against humanity laid down by Fauci and Moore and Tam and the region Hergy are still affecting and killing people that received the vaccine. Canadians fell for the threat en masse and are now paying for it because of these people's, of their lies about it. Now it's known, it's proven. It's time to take them to task, arrest them, and have trials. They can't be let to get away with this. And there's more and more evidence every day mounting against these people. They lied. They told us lies. They forced it on us. Not me. Not me. I refused. I refused. The day that they said the drug companies had no liability for anything that happened to people who got the vaccine, I said, that's it for me. I'm not getting it. And I wasn't going to be a guinea pig for some experimental vaccine, which it wasn't even a vaccine. But now, these guys have to be held to task because they up and up lied. But Rand Paul is going after Fauci, and this could set a precedent and land a lot of people in hot water. A lot of people in hot water. Okay, so what else have I got here? Now we're getting over now to the border. Apparently, cross-border traffic is down. It's at all-time lows, even lower than before 9/11. And it's happening in both directions, to Canada and to the U.S. And I blame the media, to be honest with you. I don't blame anybody else. I don't blame Trump. I don't blame tariffs. I don't blame Ford. I don't blame anybody else but the media. Taking this stuff and blowing it up. Oh yeah, they had stuff to do with it. The other people. But the media is the one that took it over the edge. The constant focus on Trump's tariffs and the arrogant elbows up campaign have sent cross-border tourism into a free fall. Numbers so low they haven't been seen since 9/11. Right after 9/11, remember they closed the borders down, they closed everything down because of terrorist threats? That was the lowest, and now it's even worse. And Canadians are really being fed lies through the media. and on social media about crossing the border and the reception by Americans if they do get across. I mean, Americans are listening to the elbows up rhetoric of morons in Canada who blame Canada's woes on Trump, even though he's only been in office 5 months, 3 months, or 2 months when all this came out, these tariffs. And a guy named Trudeau totally ruined Canada over 10 years, but they don't blame him for Canada. They blame Trump. And Canadians, believe it or not, still think the U.S. is going to suffer more than Canadians will. It's the Americans, they're going to suffer. We'll cut everything off. Elbows up, we're going to cut off everything, put big tariffs, we're going to shut off their power. Ford, guys like Ford and Carney, it's elbows up guys. But another 35% tariff is coming in August 1st. And our inept PM wanders around aimlessly without a parliament or a budget. Still manages to up the federal debt to $2 trillion, giving $213 billion to the EU to support their military. You may be wise to give $60 billion to Trump to help complete the Golden Dome, which protects Canada from these clowns in Europe. And another cool $4.3 billion to the Ukraine for weapons and rebuilding their bombed out cities, while our bombed out cities suffer in Canada. It's just mind boggling. What does he give to Canadians, the millions of homeless? Nothing. Nada. He gives them nada. That's why it's called nada. That's what he believes. Most Canadian media, they're telling us about the great harm done to the American economy by Canadians staying home. But they rarely tell us about the effect of Americans staying home. But a 10% drop in the U.S. spending in Canada adds up to billions of lost dollars. To really put the knife in, Americans have a huge advantage traveling to Canada with the weak Canadian peso, making Canada a great bargain for Americans. And they're still staying away because of all this elbows up rhetoric and everything. They think Canadians don't like them, which couldn't be farther from the truth, but that's the way the media played it. And that's all these elbows up people on social media. Elbows up, Americans this, Trump this, Trump that. It's no coincidence that only one city is bucking this trend. And guess what that city is, and guess where it is? Yeah, come on, give it to me. You know where it is? It's Calgary. And where is it? In Alberta. With Daniel Smith wanting to get out of Confederation and getting the hell out of Canada, and perhaps join the U.S. for their visits to the White House in Florida to meet DeSantis and the president. She's the darling of the U.S. people. They love her, and they're responding with U.S. visitors spending in Calgary. Spending's up in Calgary by 4.5%. How about that? In the first quarter, bigger numbers on the horizon. Being friendly goes a long way when it comes to two-way tariffs. She gets it and doesn't go with arrogant elbows up rhetoric. That's that liberal Doug Ford using in Canada, Ontario. Elbows up. Elbows up. We're going to cut off your power. You're smart enough, you're going to cut off your power. These threats don't work. They don't work against Trump. Are you kidding me? People are crazy. And they just will replace anything Canada cuts off. They can do it. You think they know power plants over there and everything? Toronto's trying to calm the waters, but the damage by Ford has already been done. U.S. visitations to Hogtown are down year to date. Well, they have a Chinese communist mayor. What's she going to do? Yeah, forget about it. Shelley Concarney had better get back to work and fast. This has to be settled. But he has no plans to call Parliament back. He has no plans to do anything, even have a budget. This guy is the absolute worst choice Canadians could have made. And we're paying for it now. You get the government you deserve. And For a guy who's beating his chest, he's the only one that can handle Trump in that. He's done a crappy job. And he's going to continue to do a crappy job because he couldn't care less about Canada. He's worried about his money. That's why he didn't pay $5.2 billion of taxes and sent the money offshore. Yeah. I mean, he don't care. He don't care about Canada or Canadians. This guy's a goof. The sooner we get rid of him, the better. Got to vote this guy out. But who we got? Where's PP? You don't hear nothing from him anymore. I mean, he's going to be elected as opposition leader by taking over somebody's riding in Alberta. So we got to wait for that. But everybody's dying on the vine while we wait for this guy. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Then people say, why didn't you talk about Canada? That's why. Who cares? Doesn't matter. We're just, the dog's wagging the tail. We're just being wagged around, and whatever happens, happens. We're like a flea on a dog's tail. He wags it hard enough, they throw us off. That's what happens. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. It's 1:00. I'm getting out of here and going and enjoying this weather. Not the smoke, but the weather. Anyway, tomorrow is Habsolutely. For those of you who are Habs fans, we're going to talk about the Habs for sure tomorrow. We always do. Absolutely tomorrow. Back on Thursday with Straight Talk Thursday. And we're going to be going more into this Epstein thing as I find out more information. I'll let you know where it's going. I already talked about AI 171, and everybody is basically given into what I said right from the beginning. Look at the pilots, find out where they are from, and their mindset, because it's looking more and more like a murder-suicide right now. Talk more about that. Talk about city stuff, of course. We're going to get into city stuff. Anything else I hear about the city, I'll let you know. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. God bless you all. Don't forget to take advantage of the beautiful products and the services our sponsors provide. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, Hamill Machine Company, and Niagara Parks Commission, of course. Have a great day. We'll see you later. My name is Paul Calabert. Your city, your voice on 4680Q. We're out of here. Have a great day, everybody.